GM, welcome to the Crypto Weekly Recap. I do this every single Friday. My name is Josh Gordon. I'm here to talk about some of the biggest things that happened in Web3 and NFTs this week so you can stay an informed investor, collector, Web3 builder, or just an interested person in this technology. So let's dive in to what happened in crypto this week. With story number one, we got to talk about Do Kwon. So he was the founder of Terra and made his first public appearance and gave an exclusive interview on what happened when Terra broke down. So inside crypto's largest collapse, well, Do Kwon made his first public appearance, and these are some takeaways from the interview. The first takeaway from this interview is that Do does not believe that he committed any fraud. He thinks that Terra was working before the attack, and nothing that he was pushing, the narrative around Terra being a good stablecoin, he doesn't feel like he did anything malicious. Terra was brought down simply because of an attack made on the blockchain, not from any fault of his own. The second takeaway is that he claims the attack on Luna was an insider job. He thinks that someone needed to know about the movements of Terra and what they were doing, how they were handling their money, and he thinks that it was done by employees who were trying to make money on the way down as Terra collapsed. When people say that Terra is a Ponzi scheme that was propped up by Anchor, he claims that employees actually wanted a higher interest rate on the Anchor protocol, higher than 20%, and that he actually wanted to keep it lower. So he claims that Terra was not a Ponzi and that he was actually trying to keep interest rates lower. When comparing Do Kwon to Elizabeth Holmes, he doesn't feel like that's a fair comparison. He feels like she straight up lied about the product and how that was working, and he claims that Luna was working perfectly until it got attacked. The last takeaway from this interview is what Do said he's going to be doing in the future. He says he plans to keep building, and this is his quote, "I think what I spend time doing over the next 20 years is going to be more meaningful than what happened with Luna." So this is an interesting interview. Definitely give it a watch. I think that, he looks like he's been through a lot. And one thing that I thought was interesting during the interview is he said he didn't sleep for 8 straight days. And over that entire time span, he only ate half a burrito. So obviously, he was going through it as seriously as anyone could possibly go through a tough situation. It looks like his mental health has been affected, his physical health, and he was trying to do everything he could to keep Terra up during that time frame. Doesn't excuse any actions, any of the overly confident statements he had been making about the ecosystem up until that point. But it's definitely sad to see someone who's been beaten down during this. And obviously, so many people across the entire crypto ecosystem have also been affected. Story number two, we got to talk about Ontario and the new regulations that came out of Canada this week. So Ontario crypto exchanges are now imposing a $30,000 Canadian annual limit on altcoin buys. Now, this is a big deal for a couple of different reasons. So these Canada-based exchanges like BitBuy and Newton are enforcing this $30K annual limit on restricted coins. So if you're in the Ontario province, you can now only buy certain cryptos up to a certain amount. Now, they said that these changes are to protect crypto investors and to make sure investors are aware of the risks associated with investing in crypto assets. So the buy limit is on all cryptocurrencies except Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum, and Litecoin. And this just shows how out of touch that this regulation is, because Bitcoin Cash and Litecoin are not the dominant coins of the current moment, of the current year. These are old coins that they don't have as much adoption anymore. So to say that there are limits on certain altcoins, but not on Bitcoin Cash and Litecoin is pretty laughable. So it goes on and it says that eligible investors will have their buy limits that are up to $100,000 Canadian, and accredited investors will have no purchase limits. So, the purpose of crypto and cryptocurrencies, a big part of the ethos is access to everybody, opening up the financial system to everybody in the world without limits. And saying that accredited investors who have all the advantages, who already meet a certain wealth threshold, can invest in these assets, but people who don't have the net worth can't, is a really big barrier, an open financial system that a lot of people in Web3 are working to to overcome. The Ontario province is 40% of the entire Canadian population, so this definitely affects a lot of people. And we even saw people like Ryan Sean Adams, host of the Bankless podcast and leading everything over in the Bankless Nation, had a lot of outspoken comments about this over the past week because it feels like this is in crypto is supposed to be censorship resistant, and this is imposing implications on people involved in the ecosystem. Story number 3, let's talk about how Coinbase won't censor Ethereum transactions. So a topic of discussion this week was around centralized exchanges on how they're some of the biggest validators on Ethereum's proof of stake chain. So as Ethereum moves from proof of work to proof of stake, these centralized exchanges who hold lots of Ethereum on behalf of their customers are actually going to be some of the biggest validators on the network. And we're now seeing governments impose some sanctions, some regulations. We saw it with Tornado Cash. So what happens, people asked, what happens if the government says that an exchange like Coinbase has to blacklist certain wallets based on their activity? Because now they have the capability to do so as a validator on the network, a major validator on the network. So Brian Armstrong, CEO of Coinbase, expressed his preference to not censor transactions after the blockchain transitions to proof of stake. And he went on to say that, should this kind of situation come up, which he hopes it doesn't, he believes that the exchange would actually unstake assets and not be a validator in order to not have to impose any kinds of censorship on behalf of the network, because that's not what he believes Web3 is about and not what an open financial system is about. So very interesting to see him make that claim. By unstaking, they won't be a validator and they won't have to comply with such demands. But exchanges like Coinbase will also miss out on tons of revenue that comes from being a major staker on the Ethereum network. All right, let's talk about some Unstoppable Domains news. First up, Unstoppable Domains released our mobile app this week. Now, this mobile app gives you the tools to securely manage your digital identity through your NFT domain. So here are some benefits that the mobile app really helps unlock. First being, it's your passport for Web3. Seamlessly log in and interact with apps, metaverses, and games through Wallet Connect. It's your name to pay and get paid. You can route up to 275 plus different crypto addresses to your domain name. So your Ethereum, your Bitcoin, your Solana, all those different crypto addresses, you can link it to your domain name. So instead of having to find each different wallet address for each different chain, you can give people one NFT domain to send any cryptocurrency to. You can connect your favorite wallet to it. You can mint domains from the app. You can keep your domains safe and secure and protect them from loss through a passcode and a biometric passcode through your phone. You can even share your digital identity, and we saw a lot of people doing this week by making like a digital card with your NFT profile photo. You can use this on your lock screen, your Apple Watch face. So it's just a cool way to personalize your NFT experience. The second piece of Unstoppable news is this week we are announced that we're working with Ramp Network to simplify crypto UX for the Ramp Network users. So if you're a user of Ramp and Ramp Network, this is really for you. The partnership kicks off with Ramp Network integrating domain resolution that allows users to send and receive crypto with your human readable NFT domain name. And we'll also be doing a free NFT drop so that you can start your NFT journey with an NFT domain name and just really get involved in the ecosystem. So awesome to see this partnership go live this week, and hope to see Ramp Network people really benefiting from the improved user experience that NFT domains provide. Community Member of the Week, I want to give a shout out to MetaRach. So MetaRach, we posted on Twitter about how she's using the new Unstoppable app to create her digital card with her NFT domain and a photo. I saw it on Twitter. Awesome to see. And thanks for being part of the UD fam. Lastly, got to give a shout out to the NFT project of the week. And this week, I want to talk about Phantom Wallet. So Phantom came out with an NFT burning mechanism for their wallet this week that allows users to safely remove spam NFTs from their wallet. And when you burn them, you can actually receive some Solana token in the process. So I think this is a cool user experience component. It definitely doesn't solve the spam NFT airdrop issue, but it does give users a opportunity to get rid of them from their wallet. Maybe they're malicious, maybe it's just not something they want to display in their wallet or in their NFT galleries. So simply burning them solves that. So cool to see. That's it for this week's Crypto Weekly Recap. I hope you enjoyed it. Please let me know what you want to hear more of in future weeks. Is it news? Is it tech related? Policy? Is it business and NFT project related? I want to make sure I'm bringing you the most relevant NFT news that I possibly can. I'm monitoring this 24/7, and so these are the biggest stories that I think came out this week in Web3. With that, I'll see you in the metaverse, and I'll catch you next Friday. Peace out.